Writing on writer's block. Haven't slept in days, they wanna put me in a psycho watch.
Hello my friends, my name's Liam, welcome back. Today I am going to do episode 4 of Writer's Block, and this is the series where I'm documenting me writing my first book because I really wish great authors documented their journeys a little bit more in their writing process and all the ups and downs. So at the very least, if I pass away, someone can watch this and know what it was like for writing my book. So I've been writing my book since the beginning of this year. Every day I'll sit down and write 300, 500 words. And my background in writing is not fiction, although I'm writing a fiction book right now. And I did that for a few reasons. Number one, I kind of wanted a challenge. Number two, I wanted to have freedom of taking the book wherever I wanted. And I take a lot of inspiration from Dostoevsky in that he would make fiction novels. They're not real. However, you wouldn't even know that they're not real because they're so realistic. So I'm doing something similar in that way, but I've always written from my memory and from my analysis. I've never written in such a way where I'm creating a moment with my writing. And I think I'm going to title this video, Writing Fiction Will Take You Places. I find that every single day I sit down to write, it actually feels like we're going somewhere. And my book takes place in city. I'll just say it, Boston. My book takes place in Boston. And each time I sit down, it feels like, well, I guess we're going to Boston today. And repeatedly, I'm putting myself in these places. And in doing that, I have to immerse myself in the experience so completely to be able to feel the feelings the characters are feeling and describe them. I have to see all of what the characters are seeing. I have to smell what they're smelling. I have to hear what they're hearing. And in the same way I'm trying to immerse the reader, I have to first immerse myself in the moment. And it's kind of a magical thing to do. I was talking with my friend, he was saying he remembers reading Magic Treehouse or whatever in elementary school, I think. And that book was absolutely magical, hence the name. And each time I sit down to write, I kind of feel a similar thing where it's taking me somewhere and it's beautiful. I will say that writing this book for me, I can't do it that long. I'll sit down and usually write about 2 pages. So this is a pretty large, full-size notebook. It's a Leichtum 1917. And so it's something like 300 to 500 words I'll sit down and write. And after doing that, I've just got nothing. And I find that I need a reboot for the plot to remain fresh. I've thought about pushing through one day and just locking myself for 3 hours, but I just hit a genuine energy dip, which I think is fine to honor because I don't want this book to be on any sort of timeline where I have to adhere to a date. That's always corrupted people's writing. I listened to Rick Rubin's podcast called Tetragrammaton. If you write books, you gotta check that out. Or if you like music, gotta check it out. I didn't really know about it, heard about it recently, and I've been listening very often. And every time one of the writing guests, for example, Joseph Wynn, he wrote a book called Don't Believe Everything You Think. It's a bestseller right now. You'll see it everywhere at every bookstore. Even saw it at the library. By the way, he wrote that book in a month and a half, self-published. It flew off the shelves. And then he wrote his second book, and he had a publisher, and he had a deadline. And you could tell in his voice that he wasn't really happy with the way the book came out. And I'm happy to be free of the confines of a publisher or an agent telling me what I got to do. And I think that's the magic of writing your first book is you don't have any expectations. You don't have to be a good writer. You can just sit down, take yourself somewhere, and with today's technology, I think it's pretty easy to publish. I haven't published yet, but I know through Amazon it's quite easy, especially if profitability is not really a concern. You just want to get your book out there and available to people, which is how I'm approaching this. I don't know if I'm going to really market it, although that could be a learning experience too. Whatever. But back to the main premise of this video, fiction will take you places. And I think everyone, especially someone trying to write a book, should attempt fiction. And the way I see it is, writing is not something you do and then you're done with. It's something that should be pursued until you die, because it's about writing itself. It's not about any sort of product, at least for me, because I know when I finish this book, it's going to be exciting, but I'm just going to want to write another book. So I'm already thinking about that. But anyways, I hope this helps. If you want an escape from your world, maybe go write a book or do some drugs. Just kidding, that's a joke. Immediately, sorry for saying that. Go write a book. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Subscribe.